Hi, welcome back to Q&A. I'm Michelle Cavanaugh, and I've been making these videos answering some of the questions that were submitted to our webinars that we offer through the DARE app subscription that maybe we didn't get a chance to get to. For people that have recovered from anxiety or OCD, what techniques have worked to normalize intrusive thoughts and stop creating danger stories around them? Great question. Intrusive thoughts come up all the time. So the first step, how do you normalize intrusive thoughts? Well, they're normal. They are. They are not a product of anxiety. They are a normal part of the human experience. It's just when we're in an anxious state, we're more aware of them. They pack more of a punch, and we spend a lot of time questioning why they're there, attaching meaning to them, and really trying to get rid of them. So to normalize intrusive thoughts, you treat them as normal. Now, that might not feel authentic to you right now, but it's kind of like asking me, how do you normalize a sneeze? Or how do you normalize deja vu? But deja vu feels so weird. Yeah, it does feel weird. But since it is a typical part of the human experience, we just treat it as such. And we let it feel weird and we let it feel uncomfortable, but we don't do anything about it. It's kind of how you normalize anything, by treat its presence as allowed, treating it as if it's kind of supposed to be there. Oh, that's an intrusive thought. In regards to how to stop creating danger stories, well, rather than trying to stop doing something that you're already doing, instead be aware that that's a piece that kind of comes from me. I have the ability to tell stories about whatever. So if we tend to have a habit of telling a danger story about something, for example, these thoughts are going to turn into, or something's gonna happen, or this means whatever the danger version of that story is, I would spend less effort trying to stop that and more awareness of, oh, there I go telling danger stories again about this present experience. Okay, so stories exist. They're usually some version of a what if. So what if this happens? Instead of trying to never say those what ifs again, instead use your oars. Like if you were in a rowboat and you were rowing down the river and you use your oars to direct yourself, okay? If there's many options that you can choose which direction you go down the river, you use your oars to direct yourself. So that doesn't mean that one path doesn't exist. It means, sure, that's a could, or this could, or this also could. And then you allow the options to be present because they are present. Something terrible could happen to me. Oh yeah, something terrible could happen to me. Or something terrible could not happen to me. I might have a panic attack in the restaurant. I could, or I could not. Or I have the best meal of my life. Or the server could spill water on my lap. Or I might see a friend I haven't seen in a long time. And a lot of anxiety and OCD is hooked on this idea of trying to not have bad things happen, trying to not have the stories we tell ourselves come true, when really we're not controlling the future. We just need to get better at our own internal relationships with our ability to create thoughts and imagine potential scenarios that could. So intrusive thoughts are normal. And so normalize your experience of having them. You can't decide if you have them or not, so you sort of get better at having them. Danger stories, on the other hand, are something that can become habitual. So notice when you get into the path of, oh, there I go telling danger stories again about whatever it is you're telling the story about. And now you have a say, you have a little more free will and agency in your ability to tell stories. So now I can tell a different story. I can tell any other version of something that could, because the could always could. When you get better at having a say in the things you have a say in, it's much more empowering, and that's where recovery lies. In our app, we have a lot of audios about intrusive thoughts. We also have some meditations on how to be the observer of your thoughts, which a lot of people find helpful because it gives you some space between you and the thoughts that your brain creates. And as always, if you have a question that you would like us to answer, you can sign up for the DARE app and register for the next webinar and submit your question through there.